right, here we go. So now we need to take our model. We've gotten everything pretty much done. And we need to now just break down the pieces and flatten them out. So one thing that I hadn't done with you was on the back of the head somewhere to put in a hole or some kind of place to mount the power cord. You need to do that before you do this part. So if you haven't done that yet, hold off on dismantling it. It'll make your life easier. All right. Although if you do dismantle it, we can kind of figure in that hole later if we need to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten every piece out to be on the same plane with the shins, with all these sort of front-facing pieces here. So I'm going to take all the pieces and just flatten them to that face and then move them to the sides. So we're just going to dismember our lamp here. So I'm going to actually start down here with the legs and work my way up. Before I do anything though, I want to make a copy of this. So I'm going to click M for move, and then I'm going to just highlight a box around it. That'll select every thing in there. And then I'm going to say create a copy. And I'm going to drag that copy back into the background, about like yay, and click OK. Now what that's going to do is cause a big headache in all my stuff. Like it just now put all of this stuff, all these new bodies in here without putting them in folders or anything. So I'm going to do a few things. First, I'm going to create a new group here, and I'm going to call that assembled. Oops, nope, I'm in the wrong thing. There it is, assembled. And I'm going to try and put all of the assembled ones into that one. Great, now I have that. And now I'm going to do flattened. And I don't really care about keeping the structure. You could go back and build in this same file folder structure for all these parts. But I'm going to save the time and just do one that's flattened. New group. And the reason I do this is I want to be able to I want to be able to very quickly turn on and off the view for these two different things. So I'm going to take all these. So instead of going through here and clicking on each one, I can very quickly just turn them off. So just right in there. Okay. So now I can say, I don't want to see the assembled one anymore. I just want to see, whoa, what happened? All right, so when I made that go away, I still have my frosted glass. Let's go find where that is. There it is. So this frosted plastic is actually part of the assembled model. So I'm going to just drag it up into the assembled model folder. And so now I can turn this on and off really quickly, and I can do the same thing for my flattened one. I can turn it on and off real quickly as I test out different things and mess with stuff. So I'm going to recenter on my new one. This is the one I'm going to actually flatten out, and I'm just going to get started. So that is going to be my base layer. I'm not going to move this one or any of these front-facing pieces. I'm going to move all the other pieces to be flat with them. So I'm going to start here on the left foot, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to do a move command. I'm going to grab this one, and I always want to rotate it so that the outward facing part of the part is facing towards me. So here, I want to actually rotate this one up. The other thing I'm going to think about, I want to go 90 degrees exactly. The other thing I want to think about is when I rotate it up, I want to think about which way the grain is going to go. I want the grain patterns to go in the same, like down the long part of all the parts. So I want the grain to go up and down here and up and down there. So I'm going to put them vertically just like this. I'm going to leave it just like this. I could rotate it sideways like this, but then that would make the grain going like across the part instead of with the length of the part. So I'm going to leave it back over here at 90 or 0 and not have moved it. I'm going to click to the front view, and once I do that, I can actually just drag. Whoops. What did I just do? I'm going to cancel that. Oh, it just stopped the move for some reason. I'm going to hit M again and just redo it. And when I go to the front view, I can just grab this center thing, just move it wherever I want to. So I'm going to put this piece right there. And I'm going to click OK. Now I need to move the toe out of the way. So I'm going to say move command. And because it's already flat like it's supposed to be, I'm just going to move it to right there. and I'm going to say okay. I'm not worried right now about the fact that they're not on the same plane. You can see they're at different levels. I'll deal with all of that later. So back to the front, and now I need to move this back piece, the calf, and I think I can see it back there. So I'm going to go move, and I'm pretty sure, yep, that's the calf back there. And again, if I go to the front view, I can just grab this center one. Now I don't like using this center grab when I'm looking at from an angle, because you can move it in all three directions, and it's really hard to line things up. So only use this center grab point when you're in a front, like a flat facing view. That way you at least restrict it from moving back and forth. It just goes left and right, up and down. All right. If you're in a tipped view like this, my recommendation, see, I can't see if it's lined up anyway. My recommendation is to use the left, right, up, down arrows only and not this center one. Try, if you haven't used that yet, try using the center one in a tipped view like this. And then once you've moved it, look around, you'll be like, oh, it's like in some random weird place that you didn't expect. All right, next. Let's get to it. So I'm going to actually grab, I'm going to say cancel that one. Oh, I did not want to cancel that one. So I got to remove it. Sorry, that was my bad. So I'm going to grab it from back there. And I'm just going to slide it out to the side here. And that one's done. Okay. Now I'm going to move the bottom of the foot, that right down there. So I'm going to say move. I'm going to grab that one. And I want to rotate it so that the bottom of the foot is facing me. So if I do want to put a decoration on it, and if my plywood, a lot of times our plywood has two different colors on the faces, and I don't want the wood to have some dark facing out and some light facing out and have it be all random and weird looking. I want them all to be consistent. So I need to turn my parts so that the outsides of the parts are all facing me. And then I click OK. That looks fantastic. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the side of the leg. So I'm going to do a move. Now this is the only weird one where I can't really do it the way I want to because it's all one big piece. So I'm going to rotate it to 90 degrees sideways, go back to my front view, and I'm just going to slide it out of the way. And one thing I noticed is I can be a little more efficient with my parts. This part does not need to be here. I can move it in just a second. So I'm going to overlap those for a second, and now I'm going to hit this one, move it. I'm just going to put it right in there. Awesome. So that is okay. Now I'm just going to check to make sure I have all those parts broken out, and I do. Now notice that some of them are thicker than others. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually align these all to each other real quick. And I'm going to align them to my initial shin that I never moved. So here I'm going to go with a move command. So I'm going to do an align command. I'm going to go to a from and to command. So it's the thing you're going to move from here to here. And I tip it sideways so you can see what happens when I do this. I'm going to say OK. And now I'm going to say align command again. And I'm going to say from this space. Now notice I'm not going to one of the corners or the middle. I want to align just somewhere randomly in the middle here to the middle here. Watch what happens. Bam. And it just, yeah, so now they're on the same plane now. It looked weird at first, but they're on the same plane now. So I'm going to click OK. And I tipped it sideways just so you can kind of see it a little better. So now this one I'm going to say, I'm going to move, I'll do a line command, not a move command, sorry. And I'm going to align it to this one. And it just snapped it back into place. And I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to keep doing that for all of them. So I'm going to do a line, this one in a random place to that one, enter. You can see it move a little bit. Align this one to that one, OK. Now when I look at it from the front, or from the side I should say, you can see now they're all lined up with the thing. So that's perfect. Those I can cut. This is going to be a 10-layer cut because this piece right here is 10 layers deep. We're going to have to make 10 different sketches for each layer as it goes through. Now I'm just going to keep repeating that process for all the different parts. I'm going to do it for this one next. Again, I'm leaving this one where it is and moving everything else. So I'm going to do a move command. I'm going to move the outside first because I think that's going to make it easier to line stuff up. I'm going to move that one. And I'm going to go back to the, actually I'm going to rotate it first. I'm going to rotate it this way. And say OK. Nope. And then I'm going to go to the front, and I'm going to just drag it off the side a little bit. And now I can build all the rest of them kind of around that one, and click OK. So now I'm going to do move. I'm just going to move the toe real quick. It's easy because it's already flattened to the face. Okay, I'm going to tip it a little bit. I'm going to move the top of the foot. I'm going to rotate it so that the top is facing me to 90 degrees. And I'm going to go to the front view and just drag it right up in there. Click OK. I'm going to move this one. And I'm going to rotate so that the bottom of the foot is facing me, because that's the part that's going to be facing out. And then go to the front view and slide it over here. And the back of there, I can see the back still move. Right. Whoops. Nope. Oh, did I not do the, I didn't finish the move command there. So yeah, click OK for the move command. I'm going to move this one and then just drag it. Oh, right there. Okay. Now I'm going to do the align command because notice they're all on different planes. They're all over the place right now. So I'm going to align them all to that one. So I'm going to hit the align button and I'm going to go here to there. Wait, what did that just do? Cancel. I'm going to cancel that. I don't know what that just did. Did I grab the wrong button? Align. Okay, align from. Again, I don't want to grab one of these dots. I want to just grab somewhere, anywhere in the middle, and then to there. That's better. Okay, and then align from here to there. Okay, align from here to here. Okay, and here to there. Okay. All right, so that's the right foot done. Now we got to do the hips. So again, I'm going to leave this first flat one in place because it's already lined up with everything else. And I'm going to move all the other pieces. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this piece first. Right there. I'm going to tip it up this way to 90 degrees. Because now the outside face is facing me, and I'm going to tip it this way so that the grain pattern will match all the other pieces. I'm going to go over to the front, and I'm just going to grab it and pull it down to right about there, and click OK. Same thing on this side. I'm going to move this one. I'm going to tip it. There it is right there. I'm going to tip it forward so I can see the outside edge, and then tip it up this way so that the grain is with the other ones. Front. And I'm going to move it out about like I did on the other side. So kind of line it up a little bit. Click OK. And now that one's good. That one's good. I need to move these sides. So I'm going to do move. I'm going to tip over and look at the side piece. Right there. And I'm going to rotate this one so that it is, the outside's facing me. So 90 degrees right there. Pull back to the front view, and I'm just going to position it right over in here somewhere. And click OK. Now do the same thing for the other side. I'm going to move. It doesn't really matter where you click on when you're doing a move command, so I shouldn't be messing with that. It doesn't matter at all. I'm going to move so the outside edge is facing me, and that's 90 degrees right there. Hit it from the front view, and then just drag it off and position it somewhere over here. That looks pretty good. And there's no reason to keep it like exactly looking the same. Like these obviously are a different order than those, but it's not problematic. Do whatever you think is going to make your life easier. Now I need to move this bottom piece here. And I'm going to rotate this one in this direction so that I can see the outside face. And then I'm going to rotate it in this direction to get that grain pattern with the other ones, to put them in kind of line with each other. And I'm going to go back to the front, grab that, And yeah, I think probably it will work better over on this side where there's a little more space. Yeah, I think I'll just drop it even down there a little bit. You don't have to keep them tight. There's no huge advantage to that. It just makes it, you know, visually more appealing, I think. But there's no reason to. And then, so this back one's a little bit confusing. So it's already flat to the front one, but it's backwards. Like the outside face is facing away from me. So when I move this back piece here, I'm going to actually flip it 180 degrees. Boom, just like that. And then go to the front. Now the outside face is facing me. And I'm just going to move it. Okay, it doesn't really matter where it goes. And then, yeah, that's all the pieces except this hip part. So I'm going to move it. Now this one I need to turn 90 degrees because the layers have to go like this to make these fingers. So we're going to rotate it 90 degrees to do that. Move, we're going to click on here. This is hard to get. There we go. You want something right on that face. And then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Awesome. Go back to the front. And you're going to just drag it off and put it somewhere where it fits. And click OK. So that's the hips. So we just need to align them now because they're all, like you can tell from the, if we look at it from a right view, see how the hips aren't lined up, but everything else is. So let's go ahead and fix that. And we're going to do the align command. And we're going to go always the thing that's moving to the thing that's not moving. So there's that. Enter. Things might get a little chunky because we have a lot of things going on right now in Fusion. So depending on how nice your computer is how much. Mine is an okay computer, but just okay. From there, where did it go? All right, I'm going to cancel that one because it just disappeared somewhere. Do another move command, try it again. And there to there, that's better. Enter. Move command there to there. Enter. Good. Move command from there to there. Enter. I think that might do it for those. Let's take a look. I think so. I think the other ones are messed up on the other side. So let's zoom in and get those done. So move, align command from there to there, enter. Align from there to there, enter. And now they should be lined up. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think so. If I flip down. And maybe what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to, oh no, I don't have the control over the parts right now. I was going to turn some stuff off, but there'd be too hard to figure out which what. So let's just say we got that one. All right, now I'm going to flatten this one to the face here because it's on the same plane with all the other ones. So I'm going to do a move command. I'm actually going to just move this side piece. There's only like 3 pieces here, I think. Good. And I'm going to rotate it around this way. There we go. I'm going to go back to the front. And I'm just going to slide it over and out of the way. Maybe down a little bit. And then I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to hit a move command and grab that back part there. Tip it so I can see all the things. And then I want to turn it 180 degrees because it's facing the wrong direction. And then I'm going to go back to the front, and I'm just going to slide it over on this side. And then OK. And I think that's all 3 parts. Yep, there's only 3 parts there. And now I'm going to do an align command. And remember, I'm going to align from this one to the middle one. Enter. Align this one to the middle one. Enter. Okay, so yep, those are all lined up really nicely. Looks like everything's going great. And now I'm going to do a move command, and I've got a bunch of parts on here that I need to mess with. So I'm going to leave this front of the neck alone, and I'm going to move this side piece first. And I'm going to rotate it so that the side of it is flat to me, because that's the part that is going to be plywood. 90 degrees, perfect. Go back to the front, and just scooch it over here out of the way. Okay. And then I'm going to move this back piece. I'm going to move this back piece. And I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees around so I can see the back is to the front. And I'm going to say, okay. Oh, nope, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to have to do a move again. I should have moved it out of the way before I did that, because right now it's overlapping with the, there we go, just like that. Okay, and then there's still another piece, so I'm going to actually move the neck. I'm going to move it just straight down. I'm not going to move it forward or back. That way it stays lined up with all the other pieces' faces. And I'm going to say, okay. And there's one more piece right there. So I'm going to click on this one. And I don't really care. This one won't be visible to anyone. This is just a kind of a construction piece. So I'm just going to flip it so that it's flat. I don't care which way it goes. 90. Go back to the front. Find a little place for it right there and click OK. Now those are the 4 parts for the neck. Now I just need to align them. I'm aligning them, remember, to the front of the neck right there. So I'm going to hit the align tool from this one to this one. Enter. And then I'm going to do align tool from this one to this one. Enter. Align tool. This one to that one. That was super well. Why did I do that every once in a while? I can't figure out what it's doing. So align tool, I'll try it again. And I'm going to go from this one to that one. Okay, that looked good. All right. And I'm just going to check it by looking at it from the side. Okay. So you might find your computer starts freezing up a little bit. Just give it time when it does that. It's just doing calculations. Don't judge it too harshly. Okay, so everything looks good there. And now I need to break the head down. So the head isn't, there's nothing lined up with the face of all of these, so I'll have to fix that in just a second. But I'm going to actually flatten them all out. So I want, again, the outside edges to be facing me. So I'm going to come up here and say, give a move command. I'm going to grab this top piece and I'm going to rotate the outside edge. So I'm going to rotate it up this way to 90 degrees and then go to the front. And here I want the grain to go along the length, the long side of the head. So I'm fine kind of with where it is. So I'm just going to move it out. I'm actually going to move it up there because it's the top of the head. Maybe I'm going to move it to there because there'll be a bottom as well. And I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe doesn't matter where I put it. I'm going to put it in the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the side. So I'm going to do a move command. I'm going to grab this side piece. I'm going to rotate it so that the face of it, the outside part, is facing me. So I'm rotating this way 90 degrees. And I want to have the grain going up and down along with the other one. So I'm going to rotate it there. And then just scooch it over here out of the way. Click OK. Go to the other side, move this one, and move it so the outside face is facing me, so I'm turning it that way this time, and then I'm going to rotate it this way as well, 90 degrees. Go back to the front. Whoops, that's not the front. That is. I'm going to move that one up there. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to move the glass piece. I'm just going to slide it sideways. It's already flattened to where it's supposed to be. Okay. I'm going to move that middle chunk over to here. That's the one where the LED light's going to go on. You can see it's that middle piece. I'm going to move to there. I'm going to say OK. Now I'm going to move the back piece, but this one I'm going to rotate 180 degrees so that the outside is facing forward. 180. Then go back to the front. And I'm going to put that one right there. Okay, and now I gotta see what else I have left. Okay, so I have all the I have the bottom left as well. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do a move on the bottom piece. This time I'm going to rotate this one up this way 90 degrees so that the bottom is facing out towards me. Go back to the front. And I'm just going to put that one right over there with this one. Okay, and now take a look. Yep, I have to do these two. Now these are going to be layers vertically down, so I've got to get that face up. So I've got to rotate these as well. So I'm going to zoom in on those. I'm going to do a move command. I'm going to try and grab somewhere on this face. And then I'm going to rotate it up this way, 90 degrees. I'm going to go to the front. Zoom out some. I'm just going to move it anywhere out of the way. Okay. I'm going to continue doing that. So move command somewhere there. The reason I want to go somewhere there is that I'll show you on the next one how it can go wrong for you if you don't get on one of the sides. That one can actually go there because it's, you know, who cares? Actually, it's going to make life harder later. I'm going to move that one out of the way. I'm going to move it so it's not inside of another part. Otherwise, we'll have to separate it out later, and it'll be slightly harder later to separate it. Now I have these two here, so I'm going to look at it from the top. There they are, right there. Move this one, rotate it up 90 degrees. Awesome. And then look at it from the front. Grab it, drag it down here, and then one more to do. Okay, and I have to align them all. Move this one. Now that's what I did. Notice I grabbed a corner here. So now I'm pointing in this weird angle like this. If I rotate this, I don't get it to come flat ever. So that's one of the times when I'm like, okay, now I don't want to do that at all. I'm going to do my move command. I want to make sure I'm on this face somewhere. And now when I rotate it, it's rotating 90 degrees to my face, so I can bring it flat. And then go to the front, and of course, bring it down in somewhere. I'm actually going to put it down here a little bit. And maybe I'm going to say okay, and maybe I'm just going to move this one over with these other three. Uh-oh, it's a little slow. There we go. I'm just going to grab that one and put it over there as well. Okay, awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by aligning this piece with the neck, which is on line with everything else. So I'm going to do an align neck to here. And I'm going to say okay. Now let me just check to make sure that lined up. Yep, now it's all lined up. And now I'm going to go back to the front. I'm going to say align. Don't want to grab anything. This one to that one. Okay. Yep, now they're lined up. Okay, so I'm working now. I'm going to leave it tipped a little bit so I can see what's happening. Align this one to that one. Okay. 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 Align this one to that one. Okay, and then align this one to that one. Okay. And now let's check to see which ones we've done. So it looks like that whole bottom row is all good and done. And now we've just got to do this top row. So align this one, that one. Okay. Align this one to that one. Okay. And I'm just going to keep aligning them. And you may see this and say, well, Mr. Haas, it looks like they're moving left and right. But what they're really doing is moving forward and backwards. And when it's at an angle like this, forward and backwards can look like left and right sometimes too. I'll show you what I mean. See how this gap looks really big? Now watch what happens when I align it. It's just going to look like it kind of shifts sideways on us. And see now it looks like it's just closer here, but it really wasn't farther closer, it was just left and right at least. It was just, all right, so now we're going to check this from the side. So look how nice and flat that is. Now there's some points where they pop over, but that's because this thing is 2 layers thick. And there'll be some places where, yeah, there's some 3-layer thick stuff here, and this is 10 layers thick. But their front faces are all lined up, and that's what we're looking for, our starting face right there. All right. So that does it for this one, flattening. The next video, I'm going to show you how to make DXF files, which are the outline files for each of the layers. And we'll have to have 10 layers for this one. So something to look forward to.